Hi, I'm Judy Kaplan, a graphologist. I study how handwriting and the brain work together. I'm here to explain how handwriting exercises replace a trauma memory with a helpful memory, and this is for free use by all mental health therapists. When could you need to do this? Replace a trauma memory with a helpful memory. Well, what if you have students or kids around you that have experienced school violence, tragic death, severe bullying? What happens to children and teens after an awful traumatic event? And what can we do to help? Well, trauma immediately shocks the brain. It can cause any or all of these: memory loss, impaired thinking, disturbed emotions, continual confusion, and being on constant danger alert. And if not helped, they could have lasting flashbacks, anxiety, depression, emotional numbness. Now, our goal is to, as fast as possible, replace, not, you can't remove the trauma memory, but replace it with a helpful memory. We're going to build a new trauma memory with the help built into it. It's going to have a clearer perspective of the trauma so the child realizes it's not the only thing in their life. They have other things in their life as well. Then it's going to include people to turn to for support, places where they feel safe, activities they want to do, and what they want to achieve or be in the future. And all that's going to give them the perspective they need to put the trauma in its place in their trauma memory. So just by writing by hand, it stimulates every part of the brain to produce new neural networks of new thoughts that become the new memories. So this girl, just by writing by hand, is creating this new memory. The frontal lobe, the number one, is taking all the thinking she's doing by answering the questions in front of her, the thinking, the decisions, and then the signals to move the muscles in her hand. All that is producing neurons. The temporal lobe, number two, is adding senses into her thoughts. The senses of sight, sounds, touch, smell, taste, anything that's in the memory of the trauma is going in from her temporal lobe. The parietal lobe, which positions the letters and words on the page, their neurons. The occipital lobe, the plans, the shapes, and sequence of the letters. And the cerebellum that coordinates arm, hand, and finger muscle movements. That massive amount of neurons is coming together to form her new memory. And that's what makes it so strong. When you write something, you remember it. And this is why, because there's a massive amount of neurons. So how are we going to begin? We're going to begin by background music. The background music will add a calming feel to the location that you're in, and you're going to provide pen and lined paper and say, let your scared feelings settle down. So that puts them in the frame of mind of the trauma event, but also starts them into a calm moment to start the exercises. So exercises one, circles calm the trauma feelings. You're going to ask them to make circles, and you're going to say, try to touch the baseline and make them the same size. They don't have to make them the same size, but it's something that they're striving to do. And having them touch the baseline and try to make them the same size, the circles, that increases focus, self-control, and emotional stability that they feel inside. Just that one exercise. And at the same time, it's building the helpful neurons into the memory that they're creating. Exercise two, wavy lines. Wavy lines unblock and release anxious feelings. And you're going to say to them, think of ocean waves as you write, and have them write as many lines as they want. The more lines they write, the more repetition, the more neurons that will be created and make that memory stronger. So exercise three is loops. Why loops? Well, loops process feelings and they help separate words, the feelings into words. So you're going to say to them, separate your jumbled feelings and think of words to describe your feelings. And once they have words, they can start dealing with the feelings that they have. Exercise four, angles. Why angles? Angles analyze the situation to find solutions and choose a plan. And you're going to say to them, think of things you always wanted to do and make a plan to do them. It doesn't matter what size the angle is. It could be tall, short, wide, narrow, as long as it's angles. Okay, then that's exercise 5. Now, for children and teenagers able to write easily, there will be 11 questions, and they're going to have all the paper they need. You give them all the paper they need, and they're going to write their answers. There is a workshop. There are worksheets that they can start with, but they can have extra paper to write more if they want. So this is expressive writing to put their feelings into words, and we know just by doing the writing, they're creating so many neurons that make this memory very strong. And everything they write about is built into this memory that started with the trauma, and all these other things are getting added in. So there are caring people. So who do they feel comfortable with? That's going to be written down. What do I want from others? That's going to be written down. People I feel safe with at home, school, or in my community, that's going to be written. Places where I feel safe in my home, school, or community. Who can I call in an emergency? Where can I go in an emergency? And then their strategies, which are numbers 3, 4, and 5, and 6, are going to be written a second time. Who can they talk to? Who will help them? Who do they feel safe with? And places where they feel safe. Next, they're going to write, what do I want to do in the future? Places I want to see, things I want to try to learn, and careers that interest me. Putting the future perspective into the trauma memory is what's going to move them forward. And then they're going to write these affirmations. They're going to write it, say it whenever they want, and keep it in their pocket so they can easily say it whenever they want. And the affirmations help a lot. And it's very important for them to remember these. I choose to focus on the positive things I can do. I have the strength to heal from painful events and move forward. I deserve to feel safe and secure. I am safe and surrounded by support. It is okay to take my time to feel better. I can seek help and support when I need it. I can talk or write about my feelings anytime. And this is written by them, and it's so much stronger in their memory because it's written. Now, for both students who can write easily and those too young to write by themselves, all this by themselves, there is a 12-page PDF that is provided to you. There's worksheets with every question for every age in this PDF, all the exercises, explanations, free suggestions or suggestions of free background music, and references where this information comes from. And it's all on my website, judykaplanbooks.com. This video and the PDF are on the website. Now, so let's look at what happens with children too young to put their feelings into words by themselves in their own handwriting. So the question is asked by an adult. And the first thing they're going to ask, these are not the exact questions, it's all in the PDF, but they're going to talk about finding a word for a feeling and how that helps them and understands helps them and others understand what they are feeling once they have found the right words to express it. And that's so important for young children. And then it's going to go on to what is it you most want to do to bring back thoughts and things that make them feel good. They're going to talk about their strategies, who their trusted adults they can talk to are, and what they can do when they feel scared, and what places they feel safe. And then they're going to talk about what things they can do if they get a chance. What is it they always wanted to do? And will they make a plan to do that? And of course, they're going to say yes because it's things they want to do. So, summing up, when trauma strikes, you can rewrite the trauma memory with a helpful memory that processes feelings into words to more clearly understand what happened, includes people and places where they feel safe, and where to go for support, and contains their plans for moving forward to always remember what matters to them. This process is called neuroplasticity. You probably have heard that word many times. Neuro for neurons, plasticity for ability to change. And that's what you just did by building a helpful memory that is stronger than the harmful memory. And this video and instructions are all on the website, and you can contact me with any questions you have. Thank you for listening.